I barely slept a wink that night in the end. Rays of morning sunlight streamed in through the living room curtains as I awoke. The sofa was by no means uncomfortable, and yet my body was sore all over. If I'd known this would happen, I would have done some work ahead of time. That said, I was in absolutely no mood to sit down and work. Everywhere I looked, the room was stacked high with cardboard boxes, some half empty, others broken down into neat folded piles. My desktop computer, an essential tool for any freelancer, was waiting for me on my desk. Unfortunately, my internet service wouldn't be ready until tomorrow, at least as far as I knew. Any chance it's not too late to change my mind about this place? Got to my feet, walked over to the cabinet, and opened the drawer. There, I retrieved the rental agreement sitting atop the stack of papers, then walked to the window. Truth be told, I was afraid to open those stupid curtains. But there was no sense standing there in the dark either. Steeling my nerves, I threw open the curtains. My balcony sat empty under the bright morning sun. Beyond it lay an equally empty lot. Nothing suspicious in sight. Relieved, I opened the window. A dewy breeze blew in, and I returned to the couch, paperwork in hand. There, I flipped through the contract until I came across the section regarding move-outs. But what I found was so bafflingly exorbitant, I couldn't help but stare. Should tenant move out before a period of 1 year has elapsed, tenant agrees to pay a penalty sum equal to 6 months' rent. 6 months? I knew it was common for rental agreements to charge an early move-out fee during the first year. After all, no landlord would want to deal with rotating door tenants. I moved a fair few times in my life, and most of the apartments I lived in had similar clauses in their lease contracts. But only for 2 months' rent max. Less than that in most cases. In all my life, I never heard of anyone charging 6 months' rent as a move-out fee. They might as well have simply typed up, "You're stuck here," in size 72 font. This is ridiculous. I was more than willing to pay another month's rent if it meant I could leave. Hell, I could be convinced to pay 2. After all, it was a paltry sum compared to enduring the terror of that awful dream or hallucination or whatever it was. But 6 months' rent, that was pushing it, to say the least. I tossed the rental agreement back into the cabinet drawer, then stepped out onto the balcony. Beneath me lay the sprawling landscape of the suburbs, peaceful and picturesque. If this were a normal apartment, I'm sure the view would have left me feeling invigorated. I spelled that wrong. Emboldened by the seemingly ordinary balcony, I glanced over at the one directly adjacent to mine. Granted, the privacy screen prevented me from seeing much. Feeling a bit braver in the safety of daylight, I peeked my head over the partition wall. 202's balcony was completely empty. The sunlight streamed in through the sliding glass window, affording me a small glimpse into the apartment itself. It looked to be perfectly quiet, perfectly ordinary. And yet, I sensed an indescribable darkness inside. The apartment felt cold, somehow. Perhaps it was just the stark emptiness. Maybe it would have felt differently with some furniture in there. Just as I lowered myself back onto my own balcony, I was caught off guard by a sudden voice calling out to me.
Ohayo!
Morning!
Ohayo.
Oh, good. Wait, what? At first I couldn't tell where it was coming from. I shot a quick glance around but didn't see anyone.
上ですよ。上。
Up here. Up where? Oh, right. I looked up and immediately it all made sense. There was Izamatu-san peering down at me from his balcony. I seem to recall he paid me a visit just last night. Good morning.
朝から隣を覗きですか?
Isn't it a little early to be spying on your neighbors?
いや、そういうわけじゃ。
What? No, it's not what it looks like. It was exactly what it looked like. Busted.
隣なら誰もいませんよ。
No one lives there, you know.
知ってます。昨日大家さんに聞きましたから。
Yes, I know. The landlady told me yesterday. She even showed me. But I decided to keep that bit to myself. Just then, an idea came to me. Maybe Hisamatsu-san was just the sort of person I needed.
久松さん。
Can I ask you something, Hisamatsu-san?
はい。
Sure.
お隣ってどんな人がいたか知ってますか？
Do you know anything about who used to live there?
さあ、俺が越してきた時はもう誰も住んでませんでしたから。
Afraid not. 202's been empty ever since I first moved in.
そうですか。
I see.
今ここの住人で202号室のことを知ってる人はいないと思いますよ。
I imagine that's the case for everyone else who lives in this complex too.
じゃあ誰なら。
Then who should I talk to?
不動産会社かな。
The real estate agency, maybe? Of course. Why hadn't I thought of that?
ま、簡単には話してくれないとは思いますけどね。
Well, I somehow doubt they'd be eager to talk about it.
それってどういう意味ですか？
Huh? What do you mean?
さ、俺も論文の仕上げやんなきゃ。じゃあそんなわけで。
Damn him. Well, I gotta get back to my visa. Enjoy your day. No sense trying to stop him. I suddenly had somewhere important to be. Hisamatsu-san vanished back inside his apartment, and I heard the sliding door shut. But more importantly, I had just obtained a valuable lead. I left the chilly balcony and headed to the bathroom to get cleaned up.
ダメです。個人情報に関わることは一切明かせないんです。
I'm sorry, but we're unable to disclose any personal information about our clients to a third party. This was the first thing my agent said to me when I arrived at the real estate agency that had helped me sign my current lease. Chloe Wander Falk Realty. I had chosen this agency simply because it was the first one that caught my eye. But the name was so fanciful I often had trouble remembering it. But that was hardly important right
そ
now.
こをなんとか。どうしても知りたいことがあって。
Well, can you make an exception? I really need to know.
だからダメなんですって。最近はいろいろとうるさいんですよ。
As I said, we cannot. They're really strict about this sort of thing these days.
住人のことを漏らしたばかりに厄介ごとに巻き込まれることも少なくないんですから。
You know, trouble is always right around the corner if a client's information gets leaked. He looked to be on the younger side, maybe a bit younger than me. Oh, whoops. I could tell he was getting sick of me already. But I held my ground.
誰も住んでないはずの隣の部屋から怪しい音が聞こえたら誰だって怖いでしょ？
Listen, okay, anyone in my shoes would be scared out of their minds hearing those creepy noises from what's supposed to be an empty apartment.
その正体を知りたいからいろいろ聞いてるんじゃない。
I'm only asking because I'm trying to figure out where it's coming from.
じゃあ大家さんにお聞きになったらどうです？目の前に住んでるじゃないですか。
Cop out. Why don't you try asking a landlady? She lives right there on the same property, doesn't she?
その大家さんが教えてくれないからお宅に聞いてるんでしょ？
I already tried that. She won't tell me. Why do you think I'm here asking you?
大家さんが教えられないならうちだって当然教えられませんよ。
If she won't tell you, then obviously we're not at liberty to either. Judging from his tone, he was used to dealing with this sort of thing. I fixed him with a sharp glare, but just then another client walked in,
いらっ
family
し
in
ゃいませ。
tow. Oh, good. Her voice casually breaks the tension hanging in the air.
ま、そういうわけなんで今日のところはお引き取りを。
I'm sorry, I can't help you. I'm afraid I'll have to ask you to leave.
冗談じゃない。
You think this is a joke? I didn't come here to mess around. After everything I've been through at my brand new apartment, no less, I wasn't going
お
anywhere.
宅が紹介した物件で夜も眠れないほど怖い目に遭ってるんですよ。
Thanks to your agency, I live in a place where I'm too scared to sleep at
こ
night.
の落とし前は一体どうつけてくれるの？
Don't you think you ought to do something about that?
ああ、いや、その。
Well, I never underestimate the backbone of a woman who works freelance. I knew exactly how to handle this. My voice echoed through the office and my agent paled. I shot a quick glance around and sure enough the family that had just walked in now was looking nervously in our direction. And I knew the agent had noticed this too.
その件に関しましては誠心誠意を持って対応させていただきます。こちらでお話を。
That's the way to get things done sometimes. Of course, our agents will do everything in its power to resolve the situation. Right this way, please. Oh, God. Looking utterly defeated, the agent led me into a cubicle in the back corner of the office. Clearly, he knew he was at the end of his rope. The area was furnished with 2 couches facing each other. Perhaps this is where they held business negotiations. The agent gestured for me to sit on one side and spoke in a low
少し
voice.
待っててください。
I'll be right back. As he disappeared beyond the partition, the receptionist brought me a cup of tea. By the time I'd taken my first sip, the agent reappeared with a file folder in
あ
hand.
の、僕が教えたってことは、くれぐれも内密にお願いしますね。
Look, please don't tell anyone I showed you this, okay? The agent flipped through the folder looking far more rattled than before. I glanced at the name tag affixed to his chest. Sorry about this, or I couldn't. I swear I'm not trying to be a bitch, but I don't really have any other
それ
choice.
で202号室には一体どんな人が住んでて何があったの？
So what happened if whoever used to live at apartment 202?
それは、実は僕にもわからないんです。
About that, truth be told, even I don't know the details.
ちょっとそれじゃ話が。
What? Then what's the point of...
まあ聞いてください。うちの会社があのアパートの仲介をやるようになったのは4年前からなんです。
Just hear me out, okay? Our agency first started leasing for your complex 4 years
その
ago.
時にはすでに202号室の賃貸募集は行われていませんでした。
At the time, 202 was already off the
な
market.
るほど。じゃああなたが教えてくれる事情って？
I see. So what can you tell me? Nervously, Horai-kun continued to leaf through the folder until he found what he was looking for. There, he pulled something free from the paperclip and slid it across the table.
名刺？
What is this? A business
う
card?
ちの会社より前にあのアパートを取り扱っていた会社です。と言っても会社自体はもうないんですけど。
This is a company that handled the complex before us. Not that they're around anymore, though.
どういうこと？
What happened?
そこの社長が首を吊ったんです。もともと家族経営の不動産屋でしたから社員は社長一人でしたし。
The CEO hanged himself. It was a family business, you see, and he was running the whole show himself.
でも家はそのまま会社があった場所の隣にありますから、うまくいけば奥さんには話が聞けるかもしれませんよ。
But his house was right next door to where the company used to be, so you might be able to ask his wife about it.
その社長が首を吊ったのはいつ？
That makes sense. So, how long ago did he, pass away?
4年前かな。うちの社長とは仲が良かったみたいで、そこで扱ってた物件のほとんどうちが引き取る形になりました。
Must have been 4 years ago. Yeah, he was good friends of our CEO, which is how most of his listings ended up with us after the fact.
僕が教えられるのはこれくらいです。
That's all I can tell you.
ありがとう。
Thank you so much. The fact that the complex's previous real estate agency CEO had committed suicide felt like a huge revelation. Maybe it was worth my time to poke a little further. Meanwhile, Horai-kun let out a sigh of relief, but unfortunately he wasn't rid of me quite yet.
もう一つ
Tenacious.
いいかしら。
Can I ask you just one more
な
thing?
んでしょう。
What is it?
私が今住んでいる部屋、シャトレ・ロマーヌの201号室には以前誰が住んでいたの？
Regarding my apartment, who was the previous tenant at Chalet Romaine 201?
201ですか。あそこは結城さんが入るまで近所にある地方銀行の借り上げだったんです。去年までは女性が住んでいたはずですよ。
201, you say? Well, before you moved in, it was leased out to a local bank chain. A young woman lived there until last year or so.
どんな人？
What was she like?
若い女性でしたね。確か久松さんって言ったかな。
Oh, I don't know. Fairly young. I think her name was... Is it Matsu-san?
久松。
Matsu. My upstairs neighbor shared that same surname. Something about that gave me
ねえ
pause.
平井さん、
Say, Horizon?
Hoi.
Son?
ってあれどうして僕の名前。
Yes. Wait, how do you know my
ネ
name?
ームプレートつけてるじゃない。もしかして201号室って頻繁に人が入れ替わったりしなかった？
It's right there in your name tag, silly. Listen, has 201 been through a lot of tenants lately? Horai couldn't frown at my question. Clearly, he'd been hoping I wouldn't ask.
そうですね。 201と203、特に201は僕が受け持った最初は入居してもすぐに出ていく人が多かったです。
That's probably something you should have shared before you do that. Well, yes, both 201 and 203, but 201 especially. So, ever since I got assigned to it, it's seen quite a few people come and go almost immediately.
久松さんも会社の借り上げだから仕方なく住んでいる感じでしたよ。だから大家さんが違約金の条件を厳しくしたんですよね。
In Hizumatsu-san's case, she was only living there because her company had leased it out. That's why the landlady had raised the early move-out penalty.
ねえ、そういうことって普通入居時に言わない？
Yeah, seriously. It's not the sort of thing you're supposed to tell a new tenant up
一
front.
定期間住んだ方に何もなければ言う義務がないんです。そもそもあの部屋自体は何かあったわけじゃないですから。
Jeez. Ugh. There's no legal obligation to tell a short-term tenant unless the situation requires it. After all, there haven't been any incidents in that one. He had a point. Regardless, I got the sense I learned all I could from this lead. I downed the rest of my cold tea and stood up from the couch. Instantly, I could see relief flood over Horai-kun's
教え
face.
てくれてありがとうね、平井さん。
Thank you for all your help, Horai-san. Horai-san?
いえいえ。でもくれぐれも僕が言ったとは。
You're welcome, but please don't tell anyone
内緒
I...
にしとくわ。ああ、でもまた聞きたいことがあったら来るかも。
Don't worry, I won't. Oh, but I might be back if I think of more questions. Give me a break. I could see, please spare me, written all over his face, but I ignored it and walked out of the cubicle. The family from earlier was still in the office, and they looked at me with concern as I approached. I put on my best smile and turned to look at Horai-kun behind me.
本当、誠実な対応をありがとうございました。これで安心して住めます。
Thank you so much. The customer service here is absolutely incredible, and now I can sleep
本
soundly.
当に申し訳ありませんでした。
My deepest apologies for the trouble.
じゃあまた何かあったらよろしくお願いしますね。
I'll be in touch next time I need anything.
今後ともよろしくお願いします。
Of course, we look forward to assisting you. The family looked relieved to see that the hardworking agent had successfully resolved the complaint. With that little matter taken care of, I headed
あ
for
り
the
がとうござい
door.
ました。またのご来店をお待ちしてます。
Thank you again. Come back anytime. Please don't. Horai-kun called after me, his voice stiff and robotic. Damn it. Gotta get these voices. I arrived at the real estate agency Koyama Realty a little before noon. I wasn't entirely sure what I was doing here or what I planned to ask, but at this point anything was preferable to just cowering in fear. The building was plain and box-shaped. One look and it was obvious the place was closed down. The windows were dusty, obscuring the interior from view. Not that I really wanted to be peering around inside a dark office in the first place. The company was located right there on the CEO's personal property. A high fence extended from the office building and looped around the house next to it. As I walked along the fence, I soon arrived at a massive gate, beyond which I could see a large old-fashioned house. The gate itself was locked up tight, but there was an intercom system affixed to the fence. I rang the doorbell without hesitation. Inside, I could faintly hear the chime echoing through the house. All at once, memories from yesterday flashed to my mind, sending goosebumps prickling up my arms. The situation was uncannily similar to my experience of apartment 202. Maybe she wasn't home at the moment. I rang the doorbell a second time. No answer.
高山さんなら入院してらっしゃいますよ。
If you're looking for Koyome-san, she's in the hospital. Ah! Sudden voice behind me made me jump. I whirled around to find an unfamiliar woman standing there. Her arms were laden with shopping bags, suggesting she was on her way home from a trip to the grocery store. Her apron was embroidered with the name Alicio. Perhaps that was her name.
高山さんのお宅に用事なんでしょ。奥さんね、今橋田総合病院に入院してらっしゃるのよ。
You are here to visit Koyama-san, yes? Well, I'm afraid she's there at Hashida General
ど
Hospital.
こかお加減が悪いんですか？
Is she sick?
さあ、救急車で運ばれてそれっきり見てないからよくわからないけど。
Can't say. Haven't seen her since the ambulance came and took her away.
ご主人が亡くなってから弱る一方だったっていうしね。
They say she's been getting worse and worse ever since her husband passed. There's a term for folks like this, gossipy old neighbor ladies. Perhaps coming here was worth my time after all.
ご主人ってどうして亡くなったんですか？
How did her husband pass?
あら、ご存知ないの？
首吊りよ。
Oh, you haven't heard? The man hanged himself. Sure enough, it seemed Alicio was more than willing to talk. So far, so good. At this rate, maybe I'd get something useful out of her.
首吊りって不動産屋がうまくいってなかったんでしょうか？
He hanged himself. Was his business not doing so well?
まさか。あの人はこの辺の地主だもの。自分の持ち物件だけでも相当稼いでいたはずよ。
Don't be silly. He was practically the king of this district. He could sell a property on his name alone.
なのに自殺？
Why commit suicide then?
ここだけの話だけどね。
Well, just between you and me.
はいはい。
Yeah? Yeah, you and me and everyone in the 10-mile radius, I thought. Naturally, I kept that little comment to myself.
何かに取りつかれてたって話なのよ。
They say he was possessed.
何かって何に？
Possessed by what?
幽霊に決まってるじゃないの。死ぬちょっと前にもね、お向かいの鈴木さんがここのご主人の悲鳴聞いたんですって。
A ghost, obviously. Just before he died, Suzuki-san across the street heard him screaming.
俺が悪かったとか、もう許してくれとか。
It's all my fault. Please forgive
恨
me.
みを買うような人だったんですかね。
I wonder if he got on someone's bad side then.
そりゃあ、これだけ儲けてる人だもの。恨みの10や20は買うんじゃない？女遊びも激しかったって話だし。
I mean, with all that money he made, he was bound to land himself in trouble at some point. Plus, I heard he was quite the philanderer. No kidding.
自分の持ちアパートに女の子囲ってたって噂もあるくらいだもの。そりゃあ取りつかれたって不思議じゃないと思うわ。
They say he had a mistress living in one of his apartment properties too. If you ask me, it's no wonder he got himself possessed. It all sounded like typical neighborhood gossip, but something about it stuck out to me. I was tempted to stick around, but I knew ladies of her caliber were likely to go on and on for hours to give them a chance.
お見舞いに行きたいので、橋田総合病院の場所教えてもらってもいいですか？
Say, I think I'd like to check in on Koyama-san. Good God, sorry. Could you tell me the way to the hospital? All hospitals are basically the same. People milled about in a frenzy, many of them clearly unwell. I knew better than to expect any different. That was the hospital's whole purpose, after all. But I still didn't like it. All in all, it felt so unsanitary. Arriving at the general reception area, I inquired after Mrs. Koyama and was promptly asked to state my relation to her.
以前の棚子でお世話になって。
Her husband was my real estate agent. It was a total half-assed lie, of course, but the receptionist directed me to the internal medicine ward
で
nonetheless.
も多分何も話せませんよ。
Fair warning, don't expect her to talk to you.
え？
Huh?
意識不明の植物状態なんです。この1年くらい。
She's been in a vegetative state for the past year.
そんな。
Oh my god. That meant my trip here was utterly wasted, including the bouquet of getaway flowers I bought as a pretext. That's what you're worried about, lady?
一応
Really?
行ってきます。せっかくお花も持ってきたことだし。お花だけ置いたら帰りますね。
Well, seeing as I brought her these flowers, I might as well check in on her anyway. I'll just put them on the table and be on my
お好きに
way.
どうぞ。
See yourself. Ignoring her unfriendly response, I headed off into the internal medicine ward. A drab, sterile smell lingered in the patient's room. Koyama-san was bone-thin, with tubes hooked into every part of her, sleeping peacefully. I set the small vase of flowers down on the side table and gazed at her for a moment. This lead may have been a dead end, but hey, I tried. After that, I promptly turned and left the room. By the time I arrived back at the general reception area, I realized I needed to call one of my clients. More specifically, my sister. She worked for a small-time magazine publisher. As it happened, I was in charge of running their website. But I wasn't going to have internet access until tomorrow, and I'd forgotten to tell her I wouldn't have the latest site update ready until tomorrow night at the earliest. I checked the time, 2 p.m. I knew she might be in a meeting, but I decided I could just leave a voicemail if it came to that. Thankfully, after a few rings, she picked
あ
up.
もしもし翔子
Hello, Shoko?
お姉ちゃんごめん急ぎのようじゃなかったら後でいいかな
Sorry, sis. Unless this is an emergency, can it wait?
更新再開は明日の夜からって伝えたいだけだから別にもういいけど会議中
Just wanted to let you know the site update will go live tomorrow night, that's all. In a meeting?
うんお葬式
No, I'm at a funeral.
お葬式
A funeral? I tried to keep my voice down. It wasn't exactly the sort of thing one ought to be shouting in the middle of a hospital lobby, after all.
会社の人が亡くなっちゃって
One of our coworkers passed away. Her uncharacteristically I'm not even gonna say that. Hesitant tone set off red flags in
と
my
にかく
mind.
また後でかけるから更新の件は係長に言っとくね
Anyway, I'll call you back later, and I'll pass on the news about the site update.
はいはいよろしく
Thanks, bye. After the call ended, I stared down at my phone for a moment. Something wasn't right. But right now I had no way of figuring it out. I just have to ask Shoko for more details later. But that taken care of, the only option left, loath as I was to admit it, was to go home and dive into work. But just about to head for the front entrance, someone tapped me on the shoulder.
あ、やっぱり結城さんだ。
Ah, Yuki-san, I knew it was you. Trying to find my upstairs neighbor, Hizamatsu-san, standing there grinning from ear to ear. We certainly seem to be crossing paths a lot these days.
風邪でもひきました？
You sick or something?
あいえちょっとお見舞いに久松さんは
No, just came to visit someone. What about you?
俺もお見舞いです。ここ大学院から近いんで。
Yeah, I just passed through myself. It's a stone's throw from my campus after all. His tone was light and casual. It sounded to me like he came here a lot. So who was he visiting? Admittedly, I was a tiny bit
あな
curious.
たが入院してるんですか
Who are you here to see?
姉がね、
Oh, it's my older sister.
どこがって聞いてもいいのかしら
Can I ask what's
いい
wrong?
ですよ。
Sure, I don't mind. He smiled like it was the most trifling thing in the
姉が
world.
病んでるのはここです。
My sister is sick here. He indicated his temple.
脳の疾患か何か
What, like a tumor or?
ああ、いえ。正確にはここです。
No, I guess you could say the problem is more in here. As he spoke, he prodded my chest just above my heart. Startled, I covered myself protectively, and he
あ
snickered.
あ、ごめんなさい。別にセクハラのつもりはないんですけど。
I was gonna say, that's pretty forward, dude. I'm sorry, I swear, I wasn't trying to do anything funny.
ここって心
What do you mean the problem's with our
え
heart?
精神を病んでもう1年くらい入院してますよ。
Wow, that's quite a diagnosis. I don't know if that's really a thing or not. Okay. It's her soul, really. Her spirit is broken and her mind is destroyed. She's been hospitalized for nearly a
ど
year.
うしてまたそんなことに
That's awful. How did it happen? Maybe it wasn't right of me to pry. But somehow it felt like Hizamatsu-san was inviting me to
今
ask.
日不動産屋さんには行きました？
Did you visit your real estate agency today? What? The change of subject caught me entirely off guard. Hizamatsu-san shot me a highly amused look. I got the distinct sense this little punk was messing with me on purpose.
ほら、行くって言ってたじゃないですか。
I mean, you told me you were going, right?
ええ行きました
Right, yeah, I stopped by.
何か有益なことは聞けました？
Find out anything
聞
useful?
けたような聞けないよう
Kinda, but not really. Fail. Hizamatsu-san smirked like he'd seen it coming.
俺の姉、久松典子って言うんですけど、
See, my sister, her name's Hizamatsu Noriko.
な
Yeah?
以前201号室に住んでいたんですよ。
She used to live in apartment 201. What?
201号室。
Apartment 201.
結城さんが住んでる部屋にね。
Your apartment.
それって一体
Wait, but oh! Just then I remembered Haraikun had told me that a young woman by the name of Hizumatsu had lived in 201 before me. As it dawned on me, Hizumatsu-san's expressions shifted.
それは聞いたんですね。
So they told you, huh?
いや久松さんのお姉さんだとは知らなかったけど
They didn't tell me she was your sister, though.
じゃあ、あの部屋が姉をあんな風にしたことは。
Did they tell you what that apartment did to her? What my apartment did to his sister? What was that supposed to mean?
あんな風にってどういう意味
What do you mean by that exactly? Evidently, Hizumatsu-san had anticipated my question. Grinning, he shot me a double thumbs
こ
up.
こじゃなんですから。場所変えましょう。
Oh my god. What say you we get out of here? God. I'd be like shaking. I'm like, damn it. I know you know stuff. Clearly. And you're just messing with me. Despite its age, Hashida General Hospital had clearly invested a fair bit of money in its facilities. In the center of the connecting corridor between the newly built internal medicine wing and the patient ward in the north wing, there sat a fancy little terrace, a hanging garden of sorts. Beyond, I could see a patient rehabilitation center with a large physical therapy space. The ceiling was painted glass like a greenhouse and evidently designed to be left open on sunny days. A pleasant breeze rustled in through the open windows. I took a seat on a bench next to a small flower bed, and Hizumatsu-san handed me one of the canned coffees he brought from the vending machine on the way here. But he didn't open his. Instead, he kept his eyes on me. Looking at him close, I realized he was actually handsome. Maybe if he shaved and got a nicer pair of glasses. Or anyway, you like him too.
何でしたっけ
Got a romance blooming here, guys. in a creepy way. So, why are we here again? As a single woman in her 30s, I wasn't used to being stared at so intensely. I attempted to steer a conversation in more productive territory, and Hizumatsu-san nodded and cracked open his can of coffee.
その前に結城さんに聞きたいことがあるんですけど。
About that, I'd like to ask you something first, if you don't mind.
何でしょう
What is it?
昨日のゴキブリって嘘でしょ。
You lied about the cockroach yesterday, didn't you? The cockroach? What? It was hardly a question. Rhetorical at best. For a second, I wasn't sure how I was even supposed to respond. Instead, I took a sip of my coffee.
本当は何を見たんです？
Be honest, what did you see? Before I could so much as swallow, he asked a second question. Evidently, my younger companion was the impatient type.
そんなにせっかちだと嫌われますよ
Most people don't appreciate being rushed, you
も
know.
う嫌われたからいいんです。
Oh. Yeah, well, I'm not here to make friends. Excuse me? I looked up at him sharply and found him staring firmly back. His steely expression contrasted sharply with his casual
聞か
tone.
せてくださいよ。あなたが見たものが姉が見たものと同じかどうか。
Tell me, I need to know if you saw the same thing my sister
どういう
did. What do you mean?
言ったままです。あの部屋が姉をこんなところに押し込める原因になりました。
I mean what I said, that apartment was what got her committed here.
俺はあの部屋に何があるのか知りたい。
So,
それだけです。
so I want to know what's lurking in 201, that's all. So, okay, yeah. Yeah, you and me both, I thought.
手を見ました
I saw a hand.
手
A hand?
ええ最初は窓をバンって叩く音が聞こえてそれからベランダの仕切り壁のあたりに
Yes, at first I heard something hit my window, and then I saw a hand on the balcony divider wall. From there, I told him everything that had happened since the day I moved in. I explained how I'd seen a hand reaching out from inside 202, only for the apartment itself to be revealed as empty. Then I talked about the hand I'd seen last night, and finally the series of events that had led me here. Felt like a ridiculously long story, considering it all started just 2 days ago. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff in 2 days. I really need to get a monitor or do this with my not my laptop. This is on my laptop. On my tablet so I can keep up with myself better. Anyway. Okay. I explained how I'd seen a hand reaching out from inside 202, only for the apartment itself to be revealed as empty. Then I talked about the hand I'd seen last night, and finally the series of events that had led me here. It felt like oh yeah. Sorry guys.
俺の姉、ここに入院してるんですけどね。
So, my sister, I told you how she's staying here, yeah? After I finished my story, Matsu-san began to tell his. Bit by bit, his tone uncertain.
3ヶ月しか持ちませんでした。
She only lasted 3 months.
でも
3 months? But
結城さんが来る少し前まで、あそこは姉が勤めていた銀行の借り上げになってたんですけどね。
before you moved in, that apartment was leased out to the bank where my sister used to work.
借り上げをやめたのは単純に更新時期が来て、なおかつ姉のことが広まったせいであそこに住みたがる人間がいなくなったからです。
But by the time the lease agreement expired, nobody was willing to live there anymore, not after they found out what happened to Noriko.
あの部屋で一体何が
So what did happen?
姉があの部屋に住み始めたのは去年の春からでした。
It all started last spring when she first moved in. Last spring, Hizamatsu Noriko was forced to move after her job transferred her to another branch. The living space allocated her felt far too large for an unmarried woman, but she was too busy with work to look for a better place herself, so she ended up staying right where she was, in Chalet, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Romaine Apartments 201. She didn't notice anything strange until about 2 weeks had passed. She was a busy woman, so it was entirely possible she simply overlooked anything weird happening prior to then. Oh, that's creepy. But one day when she was drying her laundry on the balcony, she noticed handprints. Dozens of handprints all over her sliding glass door.
やだ何これ
Oh my god, how'd these get here? Noriko hadn't had any visitors to her apartment since moving in, and she was told the apartment next to hers was empty. She wondered if it was evidence that someone had been trying to break in. She was so creeped out she called the landlady and then the police to come and look at it. But there was no proof that anything had been stolen, nor anything that could prove how long the prints had been there in the first place. In the end, the police could only promise to heighten their patrols. But even after that night, strange happenings continued to plague her life.
最初は俺、姉ちゃんが疲れてるんだと思ってたんですよ。もしくは、たちの悪いストーカーにあったって。
At first, I figured it was just the fatigue getting to her, or maybe a weird stalker or something. The banging noises were localized to her windows at first, but over time it moved to the walls of her closet. What started as a few taps escalated into hours and hours of noise, all night long. But no matter how much she suffered, the landlady continued to shrug it off, insisting the apartment next door was empty. She begged her employer to let her move out, but they refused to break the lease agreement.
2ヶ月くらい経った頃かな。
Then about 2 months in,
大悟お願い助けてもうこれ以上こんなところに住めないわ
Daigo, I'm begging you, please help me. I can't live here anymore.
住めないってどういうことだよ。まだ引っ越したばっかりだろ。
What do you mean you can't live there? Didn't you only just move in?
壁から誰か出てくるの多分女の手がどうしよう
大悟
Someone's come out of the walls. I think it's a woman's hand. Daigo, what do I do?
壁から
It came out of the
詳
walls.
しいことはわからないんですけどね。
I don't know the details, but
その頃にはもう姉は見る影もなく痩せこけて、実際に何が起こったのか詳しく聞ける余裕はなかったんです。
next time I saw her, she was practically a skeleton. There was no time to hash out the details of what had happened. After missing work for 2 straight weeks, Noriko was taken to Hashida General Hospital due to extreme malnutrition and sleep deprivation. The next time she awoke, it was clear she had lost her sanity. Oh my god.
姉を最初に発見したのは俺だったんですけどね。部屋はひどいありさまでした。
I was the one who found her that day. The apartment is a total mess.
姉がやったと思うんですけど、壁中新聞紙が貼られてて、窓なんかガムテープでベタベタで。
My sister, at least I assume it was her, she taped newspapers all over the walls and covered the windows with duct
リビ
tape.
ングでソファーの下に隠れるように倒れてたんです。
Jesus. I found her passed out, hiding under the couch in the living room. A shiver ran down my spine. To think this took place in my apartment. I felt sick to my stomach.
大丈夫ですか？
You alright? Clearly I must have looked as sick as I felt. Hizamatsu-san shot me a sympathetic look.
じゃあ昨日見たあれは
So, the thing I saw yesterday...
見間違いでも何でもないと思います。それどころか姉に起こったことが繰り返されるならもっとひどくなる。
I'm pretty sure you weren't just seeing things, and if history repeats itself, then it'll only get worse. Oh god. I had unwittingly ensconced myself into a waking nightmare. Fear and panic shot through me, shredding my composure.
すみません。怖がらせるようなことを言っちゃって。
Sorry, I swear, I'm not trying to freak you out.
私が知りたがったことだから別に久松さんが悪いわけじゃ
No, I was the one who asked, so it's not your fault. I cursed myself for thinking it might not be so bad. I thought I was playing detective, but in actuality, I was just the victim in a horror movie.
何かあったら俺の部屋に避難してきてください。俺の部屋は何ともないんで。
If anything happens, you can take shelter in 301 with me. It should be safe there.
避難って
Take shelter?
あ、大丈夫です。俺年上にはとっても紳士的なんで。
Oh, don't worry, I plan to be the perfect gentleman, of course. His tone remained cheery despite the conversation we were having. Just then a thought occurred to me.
そういえば久松さんってどうしてあの部屋に住んでるんですか
Think of it, Hizamatsu-san, why are you living there in the first place? The man returned a sad
ど
smile.
うしても知りたいんですよ。何が姉をあんな風にしてしまったのか。
I need to find out what broke my sister. I must know.
騎士にしては危険だと思うけど
Curiosity killed the cat, you know.
義務かな。両親が結構前に死んで俺をここまで面倒見てくれたのは姉なんで。
I just feel like I owe it to her, I guess. After our parents died, she was the one who looked after me all that
そ
time.
の姉があんな風になっちゃったのに何もしてあげられなかったから。
But me, I couldn't protect her for whatever it was that broke her mind. He grimaced bitterly, his eyes on the can of coffee, his hands
俺が
trembling.
入居した時って下の部屋はまだ銀行の借り上げ中で上の部屋しか空いてなかったんですよ。
When I moved in, 201 was still leased out to the bank, and the only apartments available were on the upper floors.
だから301に入ったんです。今度下に住む誰かに何かあった時手助けができればいいなって。
So I chose 301. That way, if anything ever happened to whoever moved in below me, at least this time I'd be around to help.
昨日すぐに来てくれた
So that's why you came down to see me yesterday.
下心もありますよ。
I mean, I have other reasons, of course. Huh? My heart skipped a beat, almost like I was a teenager again. Ah, you guys like each other. Come on now. Alright. But Hizamatsu-san smiled
手助け
innocently.
をすることで姉がああなった原因に近づけるかもしれないし、実際ちょっと近づけてるみたいだし。
I figured I could learn more about my sister's trauma if I helped you, and it seems I was right. Oh. For some reason I felt the tiniest bit
まあ
disappointed.
そういうわけなんで、何かあったら遠慮なく上に来てください。携帯鳴らしてもらってもいいんで。
Well, anyway, feel free to swing by or give me a call anytime you need me.
分かったわ。ところで久松さん自身が掴んでる独自情報とかはないんですか？
I will. By the way, have you managed to find any leads on your own?
私よりは長くあそこにいるんだから何か知ってそうだけど。
You lived there longer than I have, so I figure you might know something. Izumatsu-san
あ
smoked.
るにはありますよ。
Yeah, you could say
教え
that.
てくださいよ。こうなった以上情報はできるだけ共有しないと。
Would you mind sharing with me? At this point, I think we ought to pull our resources as much as possible.
じゃあ一旦帰りましょう。俺もいつもそういうものを持ち歩いてるわけじゃないんで、見せたいものがいくつかあります。
Alright then. I don't have it on hand, so let's head back to my place. I got a few things I'd like to show you once we get there. With that decided, Hizamatsu-san finished his coffee in one swallow. Oof. The sun had started to set by the time we made it back to the complex. Mercifully, I can't talk today, it was still light out for now, and after everything that happened yesterday, that thought weighed heavily on my mind. But as we turned into the parking lot, my attention was promptly pulled
あ
elsewhere.
ら
What the?
引っ越しですかね。
Looks like somebody's moving out. Izumatsu-san peered through the passenger side window at the large truck occupying one corner of the lot. It was much larger than the delivery truck, that much was
ど
for
こに
certain.
止めようかしら。
Where do I park? As it happened, the truck had situated itself directly over my assigned parking spot. Ah, damn it.
俺降りてざっと見てみます。人の出入りがあるから玄関口を見ればわかるでしょうし。
Let me help out and take a quick look. Whoever it is, we should be able to see them hauling stuff out.
お願いします。
Okay, sounds good. With that, Hizamatsu-san hopped out of the car and craned his neck up at the complex. Nearly all the apartment doors were visible from his position. Just then, Hizamatsu-san's gaze settled in a single direction. Had he seen him? His expression was as hard as
ど
stone.
こかわかりました？
Do you see them? I quickly rolled down the window to call out to him, but he didn't respond. Instead, he walked right up to the driver's side door and opened it.
あ、
What are you... He grabbed me by the shoulder, urging me to get out.
203です。
It's 203.
え？
What?
引っ越してるのは203です。
203's moving out. I understood immediately. Apartment 203 was directly adjacent to 202, and as with 201, 203 reputedly went through a lot of tenants. Without passing to kill the engine, I whipped off my seatbelt as fast as I could, jumped out of the car, and dashed up to the second floor. On the way up, I passed a handful of movers carrying furniture downstairs. Once I reached 203, I found the door wide open. I ran up right as a man, likely the tenant, was on his way out. He appeared to be in his early 40s. He had a washcloth around his neck and a cardboard box in his hands. As soon as he spotted me, he shot me a suspicious
あ
look.
の、お引っ越しですか？
Sorry to bother you. Are you moving out?
見ての通りですけど、
Yeah, as you can see. His tone was gruff and defensive. He seemed tired. This was my first time meeting him, but I could tell he was worn out. As I lingered on the spot, his gaze turned
まだ
hostile.
何か用ですか？
Can I help you,
あ
lady?
の、私201に昨日引っ越してきたものなんですけど。
Golly, all this in, what, 2 days? Actually, see, I just moved into apartment 201 yesterday.
201？
201? That got his attention.
はい、まだご挨拶してなかったからご存じないとは思いますけど、あの、随分急なお引っ越しのようですね。
Yeah, you probably don't recognize me since I haven't had the chance to introduce myself. Anyway, you sure seem to be moving out in a bit of a hurry, huh?
別にあんたには関係ない。邪魔だからどいてくれ。
It's none of your business, alright? Now kindly get out of my way.
邪魔ってな。
Excuse me. Hey! Talk about a bad attitude. The man forced his way past me, cardboard box in his arms. After witnessing the exchange, Hizumatsu-san turned back to the
とりあ
stairs.
えず車のことだけ言ってきますよ。
I'll talk to him about the parking
お
situation.
願いできます？
Yeah, I don't blame her. I wouldn't want to talk to him either. Would you? Thanks. Heinan was about to head off when he froze, his gaze focused on something behind me. I turned to find a woman, likely the man's wife, standing at the entrance to 203.
何か。
Did you need something?
私、昨日201に引っ越してきた結城と言います。
Oh, hi, my name is Yuki. I moved into 201 just yesterday.
は
I see. She looked at me fearfully, as with her husband she was carrying a cardboard box, though hers was
あ、
smaller.
今、外出から帰ってきたところなんですけど、その、下にトラックが止まってたもので。
I just got back from running errands and the truck outside is kind of in the way.
車ですね。あと少しで引っ越しが終わりますから、少し待ってください。
Oh, I see. You need your parking space. Sorry for the wait, but I promise we're almost done here. She timidly moved past me.
ずいぶん急な引っ越しですね。お仕事の都合か何かですか？
You're not very tactful, are you, lady? This move seems a bit sudden, don't you think? Change of jobs or something? At this, she visibly flinched.
ええ、そんなもんね。
Yeah, that's something like that. Her voice was shaken, as was the rest of her. I could see her fingers tighten around the edges of her cardboard box.
一旦202の駐車場に避けときますから。
Okay, well, I'll just park in 202's space for now. This little comment was far more effective than I had anticipated. Oh. Oh, God. Okay. The instant 202 left my lips, the woman practically jumped out of her skin. Her box tumbled to the floor. I heard a dull crunch as the item inside shattered, but the woman was trembling too violently to notice. Izumatsu-san scooped up the box and handed it to her. Just then, her husband reappeared behind
おい
her.
久江荷物はそれで終わりか
Hey, Hisei, is that the last box? But Hisei didn't respond. The man took one look at his scared, shaken wife and
おい
paled.
久江どうした久江あんたら何か久江に言ったのか
Hisei, what's the matter? Hisei, what did you people say to my wife? The man looked about ready to deck Hizumatsu-san in the face, but the bespectacled youth answered
い
calmly.
え、車が止められないから202に避けときますからというつもりがこうなってしまったんです。
All he said was I would be waiting in 202's parking space until you're finished. It was the truth, after all. Thankfully, Hizumatsu-san had my back while I was too flustered to respond. Meanwhile, the man's expression softened.
ああいやもう終わりますからあと少し待っててください
Oh, alright, we're nearly done now, so just sit tight for a little longer, please. An awkward tension hung in the air. Just then, a voice called out from inside 203.
高橋さん、壁と窓の新聞はどうしますか？剥がします？
Oh, that's an awkward name there. Is that supposed to be there? Okay. Takahashi-san, what would you like us to do about the newspapers on the walls and windows? Tear them down? Must have been one of the movers trying to help expedite the process, but Mr. and Mrs. Takahashi reacted violently.
剥がすな
Leave them! Leave them! Curious, I peered inside and froze. Based on what I could see, the layout of their apartment was identical to mine. But their living room window was completely covered over with newspaper. Panicked, the man dashed back inside the apartment, then turned and
もう
nodded
少
to
しで
us.
終わりますからちょっと下で待っててください
We're nearly done here, so just wait downstairs for us, would you? Without waiting for a reply, the man slammed the door shut and began to scream at the movers.
剥がすな剥がすんじゃない
Leave it where it is! Don't you touch it! Meanwhile, the three of us, myself, Hizumatsu-san, and Takahashi-san's wife, trudged down to the first floor. Well, that was an awkward interaction. Damn. Okay.